The night I signed the divorce paper and walked away with nothing, I wandered the rainy streets alone, with a single duffel bag and only $36. That was when I spotted a flyer, taped to a roadside pole. Stepmom wanted for child, room and board. That's what got me. That same night, I showed up at the address. I walked straight into the mansion of Luca Castellano, the Don of New York's oldest mafia family. Later, my ex-husband looked down at me with that same arrogance.
Nora, do you finally realize you were wrong?
Before I could answer, the 4-year-old little tyrant exploded.
Wrong about what? My mom is the best!
The Don slipped an arm around my shoulders, kicking him aside.
My wife could never be wrong, and even if she was, she'd still be right.
I never expected the people posting flyers on poles to be New York's most powerful mafia family. Now I stood outside their mansion. Beside me, the butler carried himself with quiet arrogance.
The Don is looking for a mother for his child, not a wife for himself. I need you to be very clear on that. Don is a very desirable man. Do not get any ideas you shouldn't.
I kept my eyes lowered. Honestly, this job was perfect for me. To put it simply, they just needed a high-end nanny. 8 hours ago, I'd signed the divorce papers and been kicked out of my ex's house. The last thing I wanted was another husband, but a roof, 3 meals, a place to disappear, that was a miracle.
I understand. I won't get any ideas.
The butler led me down a dim, vaulted corridor. Then I heard something that sounded like a gunshot. I stumbled, slammed straight into a hot, hard chest. The smell hit me first. Blood, gunpowder. Then the barrel of a pistol tipped my chin up. A man in a suit with his hair slicked back. Blood streaked across his jaw. A snake tattoo coiling out of his collar onto his throat. My chest rose and fell rapidly with fear. His gun slid down from my chin and stopped between my soaked breasts. He studied me for a long beat. Finally, walked off without a word. I'd seen that face before. Page 6, New York Times, the Castellano Don. Sebastian had once spent a month studying his photos, trying to get in with the old mafia family behind him. The butler finally spoke.
The Don is handling some business. Please don't mind.
I nodded quietly. Then he took me to change into something dry and led me into the dining room. A long wooden table sat beneath a crystal chandelier, and at one end, a father and son were locked in a standoff. The man with murder in his eyes was gone. In his place, at the table, sat a man in a white dress shirt holding a spoon. His face was tired. The boy pressed his lips shut and glared up at his father like a tiny soldier holding the line. Neither moved. Finally, the man exhaled and set the spoon down. Long fingers pinched the bridge of his nose. His voice dropped, low and rough.
One bite. One small bite. Is that really too much?
The butler stepped forward.
Don, the applicant is here.
The man turned. His shirt was unbuttoned low. I could see most of the snake tattoo now. The lines of his muscles pressed faintly through the white linen. The most feared man in New York. Inherited the family glory at 16. Built it bigger, darker, quieter than his father had. Money, power, blood on his hands. So this wasn't some dream or scam. A man like Luca Castellano had no reason to scam a broke divorcee off the street. His eyes moved over me, distant and tired.
Name?
I figured he'd come straight from his so-called business, handling traitors, torturing some enemies, and now got defeated by a toddler. Feeding the kid was probably harder than running his empire.
Nora Bennett.
I said, a barely there nod. He held out the plate.
Try.
So, this was my interview. If I didn't pass, I was sleeping on the F train. I smiled my warmest, gentlest smile and walked toward the boy. I didn't make it 2 steps. Whoosh! He bolted under the table. Only his eyes peeked out, dark, round, furious.
I don't want her! Send her away! She's a bad lady! They're all bad ladies!
So before me, this kid had already been through who knows how many stepmoms. Fine, I needed to do my best. I scanned the room and clocked it instantly. Action figures everywhere. Batman, Spider-Man, a whole shelf of Avengers. I grabbed 2 figures off the coffee table and crouched down by the table leg. I sat Batman and Spider-Man right next to the kid. Then I picked up the spoon.
Don't worry. I'm not feeding you. I'm feeding Batman.
I mimed a spoonful into Batman's face.
Open up, Bats. Heroes who skip dinner? Skinny arms, skinny legs. Can't protect anyone like that. Oh, Batman wants vegetables? Good call. Spinach makes you strong.
The boy watched, half hidden, lips parting, smacking his mouth a little. I pretended not to see. His nose started turning pink, like he was about to cry. Right on cue, I gasped.
Wait, is that a baby Batman over there? Bats, can you share with him? He has to eat too if he's gonna grow up strong.
I tilted Batman.
Bats says yes.
I turned to the boy.
Batman improved, kiddo. You get a little, but just a little. We don't want you outgrowing him. He'd be sad.
The boy nodded furiously. I didn't even get the spoon to his mouth before he grabbed it with his lips. A big bite.
Why won't you give me vegetables? You scared I'll get stronger than Batman? bad lady.
I glanced at the couch. Luca Castellano's mouth curved, a small, real smile, approving. I moved into the castle that night. There were 3 floors. I got the 2nd floor with Leo. Luca had the entire 3rd floor to himself. The butler walked me to my room and gave me one last warning.
You do not go up to the 3rd floor. Ever.
His voice dropped.
The last woman who snuck up there to climb into the Don's bed got thrown out of his window. 2-story drop.
I thought of the gun from an hour ago. I nodded so hard I almost gave myself whiplash.
Won't happen. You have my word.
Castellano men breed serious. Leo was only 4 and slept in his own bed without a fuss, and that made my job easier. I just changed into the silk pajamas from the closet. The knock made me jump. Don Luca's voice was low behind the door.
Come down. Let's talk.
Luca was on the couch in the great room, long legs crossed, whiskey in his hand. I sat across from him on the opposite couch, hands in my lap, knees together, like a job interview.
You're good with kids. You have one of your own?
No. I helped raise my ex's nephew for 2 years.
Back the crane said I didn't make enough money and ordered me to quit, called it generosity. Then, after I did, they claimed I was lazy and had nothing to do. So they fired the nanny and dumped the kid on me. More free maid than wife.
File says you're divorced.
Yes.
Reason?
Some small-town girl cannot stain a noble family name, I guess.
Only a coward would say that. You saw the ad. I'm hiring a mother for Leo, not a date for me.
My rival's family terrified him when he was little. He's always been insecure, hates leaving the house, and has never had a single friend. I work long hours. I need someone with patience, someone who'll stay.
There will be a prenum. Everything stays separate, especially in bed.
My heart shuddered as I looked deep into his eyes. Marriage in rich people's world was a contract before it was anything else. My marriage with Sebastian was for love. But because the gaps between our family, I'd signed one with him too. When the love ran out, I'd walked away with nothing. Not even my wedding ring. Let alone a powerful mafia family like the Castellanos. They would only be more careful.
I understand. Honestly, if you just need someone in the house, we don't have to make it legal. I'm fine without the paperwork.
Luca shook his head. He leaned forward, tapping his fingers on the table.
Marriage is for Leo. He needs the most stable mother I can give him. And marriage is the strongest contract there is.
All right. We'll do it your way.
Don't worry. You'll get $100,000 a month for expenses.
This was the part I cared about. I've been burned before.
Mr. Castellano, if we divorce someday, can I keep the money you've given me?
Of course. It's yours.
All right, then.
As for sex, I don't need anything from you in that area. You stay on the 2nd floor.
Right, the sex.
That's fine. Neither do I.
So, 3 days after I signed divorce papers, I got married again. No ceremony, no guests. Same as my first wedding. The butler added an extra dish to dinner. I thought that was the celebration. But suddenly, Luca slid a signet ring across the table. A Castellano family ring.
That's not necessary.
Sebastian never even gave me his family ring.
For Leo's sake.
Then I got it. The child needed a family illusion. I fell into silence and finally took it.
I'll keep it safe.
That night, I'd just gotten into bed when the door creaked open. Leo stood in the doorway, bare feet, hair sticking up, fidgeting with his dinosaur pajamas.
What's up, kiddo?
Nora, can you read me a bedtime story?
What? You want me to read you a bedtime story?
I'll get my dad to pay you extra. If you don't want to, forget it.
Come here.
I held the covers open. He scrambled in like he'd been waiting for that all day. Halfway through the story, he was out cold against my shoulder. Next morning at breakfast, Luca's eyes widened when the butler told him Leo had slept in my bed.
Nora, that was above and beyond. I'll add another $50,000 a month.
Mr. Castellano, that's way too much.
It was, by a lot. I'd given far more than this in my last marriage, and walked away with literally nothing. During the day, I babysat his nephew. At night, I cooked for my husband. After satisfying his needs in bed, I still had to get up at 5 to clean the house and make breakfast. His mother judged.
We could hire someone, but Nora's just sitting around all day. Wouldn't be fair.
Despite all these, the day of the divorce, his sister told the lawyer I'd been living off them for 3 years.
Mr. Castellano, it's really too much. I like Leo. He's a sweet kid. Reading him a book is nothing.
As I said it, Leo came over and grabbed my fingers with his small, warm hand. He was looking up at me with those big, dark grape eyes. He was actually moved.
You don't know. The women before you only cared about impressing me. They ignored him. 50,000. That's the new number. Not negotiable.
I gave up and thanked him. From that day on, Leo was my shadow. Luca was busy with all the transactions, the guns, and the bloods. The huge mansion was usually just the two of us. I tried my best to play with him and made him happy every day, until the day I had a hospital appointment for a follow-up. The butler had warned me. Leo couldn't leave the house. Outside triggered panic attacks. I crouched down.
Hey, babe. Wait for me at home. I'll be back in an hour.
He grabbed my hand and wouldn't let go. Didn't say anything. Just looked at me with those dark, sad eyes.
He's scared you're not coming back. His mother left him exactly like that.
I'm coming back. I'll see the doctor and come right home. You play here, okay?
I was still mid-sentence when he climbed into the back seat of the car. The butler tried not to hope.
Master Leo, you're going to the hospital with Miss Bennett?
Leo nodded.
Thank God. He's finally willing to leave the house. Your depression's getting better. Just keep it slow. Relax.
I took the script and the meds and left. Leo was waiting in the lobby with his small Batman.
Nora, are you sick?
A little, kiddo. I used to skip meals a lot, so I got sick. Promise me you'll never let yourself get like that.
Does it hurt? If it hurts, I can give you candy. Daddy told me candy makes you forget.
My tears fell without warning. In the Crane house, I'd cry and they'd call it dramatic.
Small town girl. Can't handle the lifestyle. I had depression.
Stop faking it to get attention!
The nephew I'd raised for 2 years stood next to his mother on divorce day and called me ugly. And here was this 4-year-old mafia heir handing me his last piece of candy.
Nora, I'm going to eat every meal so I can grow up and protect you.
You better grow fast, babe.
When we walked out of the hospital, there was a black Maybach idling at the curb. Luca was leaning against it.
Mr. Castellano, why are you here?
Rumor had it that the ruthless future Don was either impotent or gay. His grandmother worried about the Meridi bloodline. She sent me to teach him woman and desire. After that, he couldn't get enough. Night after night, he left me begging for mercy. But when I got pregnant, I overheard him bragging to the others.
She's just a housemaid, a bit of amusement. A man like me will have countless women.
Something in me died. I walked out of the estate and never went back. After he searched for me like a madman for 4 years, he stared at a little girl who looked just like me in a market.
Who's your father?
Mom said he caught some dirty disease and died.
The ruthless mafia heir Alessandro had money, power, blood in his hands, but not one woman in his bed. The rumors said the future Don was either impotent or gay. The old matriarch worried about the Meridi bloodline, so she gave the order to me, the maid who sold herself because of the family debt.
Strip down and climb into Alexandre's bed. Teach him desire. If you succeed, your family's debts will be cleared. If you fail, don't bother coming back alive.
I'd heard that other failed models and celebrities disappeared without a trace after they failed, let alone a girl like me with nothing to my name. That night I crept into his room in nothing but a thin lace slip, kneeling at the foot of his bed, shaking. Alessandro was on the bed, idly toying with a gun.
Bianca, what are you doing?
He didn't expected me.
Your grandmother ordered it. She said I'm to teach my master about sex.
He sat up against the headboard, dark silk pajamas loose at the collar. He tilted my chin up, his gaze lingering over my face.
Teach me then.
I swallowed and took out a sex manual his grandmother had prepared for me. Techniques, positions, all of it. I read the first page in a flat, steady voice, like a prayer. I tried my best to ignore the illustrations.
Not one word wrong. Impressive. But what about the pictures?
I looked up.
What?
He suddenly pulled me onto the bed and wrapped an arm around my waist. Then he pointed at the illustrations.
If you don't explain the picture, how am I supposed to know what it means?
My face burned hot, my ears going red instantly. His pajamas hung loose at the chest, his burning skin pressed against me. I looked down. The picture was explicit. I knew the rough idea, but I was still a virgin. I had no idea 2 people could even bend that way.
They're together.
Alessandro pressed my head toward him, his lips almost touching mine.
Couldn't follow. Be specific.
The text on the page had been one thing. The heat of his breath against my face was another. My face went hot. I shoved the book at him.
I don't know how to describe it. Mr. Moretti can see for himself.
He didn't take the book. His gaze stayed on me, soft and sly.
You don't even know. How are you supposed to teach me? Go back and learn properly. Come back tomorrow.
A quarter hour later, I was outside his door, sniffling. Day 1, failed. The next day, the matriarch found out I'd failed.
Stay here, on your knees, until you figure out how to seduce him!
I was punished to kneel in the garden under the rain. The stone slab scraped my knees, and the heavy rain soaked me through. I'd been born to a poor family. My father had gambled away a fortune in debts, and my mother couldn't afford to raise both me and my younger brother. So when I was still a child, she sold me to the Moretti family. It was there I met Alessandro. 16 back then. I'd never known a man could be like that. Handsome, intelligent, violent yet elegant. He'd pulled me out of the dirty and backbreaking kitchen and made me his only personal housemaid. 10 years had passed. I pressed his suits. I poured his wine. I organized his files for him while he was working. And somewhere in there, somewhere I shouldn't have, my heart had started leaning toward him. But I had never once thought the matriarch would order me to strip and crawl into his bed like a whore. I felt the tears coming. I was still a virgin. How was I supposed to teach anyone? Alessandro came through the front gate just then. He saw me kneeling in the rain, crying.
What's going on?
I almost passed out from the pain in my knees. He didn't ask twice. He swept me up into his arms and carried me into his room. He checked my knees.
Your skin is raw.
He found a small jar of ointment and started working it gently into the skin. The most powerful heir in New York, kneeling in front of me. His fingers were long and careful, drawing slow circles on my knee.
You're always so reliable. My grandmother only punishes you when you've done something wrong. Was it last night?
I was so tense I twitched against the bruise and let out a hiss. But underneath, my heart was leaping because of his concern. Alessandro caught my finger and suddenly kissed my cheek. His voice didn't give anything away.
Tell my grandmother I learned slowly. Come back tonight. Keep teaching.
That night, Alessandro was already in bed holding the book when I came in. Somehow his pajamas was even more open than yesterday. I could see every line of his abs. He saw me and patted the bed next to him.
Shoes off. Up here.
I climbed up beside him, leaned against the pillows. Then I realized what he was reading. The sex manual. My heart started slamming. He didn't seem to notice and laid the book open between us.
Is this how the people in the Kips do it?
I nodded, blushing. He flipped to the next page as if he were really a student. Time passed. He handled me like a toy, following every position from the manual. The only sound in the room was the rustle of paper and Alessandro's breathing, which was getting uneven.
Bianca.
Yes.
His arm tightened.
I'm uncomfortable.
What's wrong, my master?
Alessandro suddenly snapped the book shut, threw it aside, and pulled me against him.
I wanted to see you blush.
He said into my hair.
Now I can't take it anymore.
I'd known I was pretty since I was small. The other servants used to tease me about it. They said with my face and my figure. I didn't have to do a thing to make a man want me. Alessandro caught my earlobe between his teeth. His breath was hot against my ear. I went stiff. I didn't know what to do with my hands.
Take it easy.
Alessandro kissed his way down my neck. His fingers slipped one of my straps down, and his kiss landed lower. His other hand slid under my dress. Then he stripped off his shirt, revealing a perfectly sculpted body.
Your virginity is mine. And now, I'll take it.
His perfect body moved against mine in steady waves. It hurt. I started to cry. He laughed, soft.
Don't even know how to do it, but you were going to teach me?
Aren't you the one who doesn't know?
I whispered, miserable.
Sweetheart, there's no man alive who doesn't know.
He kissed the corner of my mouth. Gentle turned into fierce.
When it's the right woman, the body just figures it out.
That night, he didn't let me go. Now I knew just how ridiculous those rumors were. That he was impotent, or that he was gay.
Once a man's tasted blood, he wants more.
For the next 2 weeks, Alessandro wanted me in his bed every night. He was fierce and dark behind closed doors. He had mastered every trick in that manual, except self-restraint. After being teased by a few servants about the marks on my body, I tried a careful approach.
I heard even good things shouldn't be overdone. Too much of it isn't good for the body.
I stopped his kiss at my neck. Alessandro laughed.
You know a lot for someone who knew nothing.
But he let me sleep that night, at least. The matriarch heard it and nearly broke into tears of joy.
Thank God. The Moretti bloodline is saved.
Then she turned to me.
Bianca, you're a sharp girl, and you've got your head on straight. When the right wife comes into this family, I'll have Alessandro keep you on as his mistress.
That was when I realized the matriarch was already arranging Alessandro's marriage. The candidate was Cassandra Santoro, daughter of the Santoro family. Of course, the most powerful mafia heir deserved a wife from a respected mafia bloodline, not someone like me. A small-town girl, a maid. Being kept on by a man like him was a kind of miracle. And I was already half in love with him, and he told me he liked me. I never imagined there could be more. My face burned. I knelt and thanked the matriarch.
Good girl. Take this as your reward.
She handed me my family debt bond. It meant I was free of my servant bond or the debt. I almost wept with joy. But Alessandro was the only one who wasn't happy. That night in his bed, he gripped my jaw.
Your man is taking a wife. And you're happy?
My chest squeezed, but I made myself smile.
You and the Moretti girl are a perfect match. Why wouldn't I be happy for you?
His face darkened. Each word came clipped.
She's the wife. You're the mistress. The other woman. From now on, I'll be Mark Love to her in this bed every night, trying every position you taught me. If you cross her, she has the right to slap you, scream at you, do whatever she likes.
It hit me then. He was warning me. He was afraid I'd get too comfortable, that I'd cross his new wife and bring down trouble. He was reminding me of my place.
Yes, Mr. Moretti. I know what I am. I'll stay in line.
Somehow he got even more angry.
And if she's cruel, if she goes out of her way to hurt you, do you really understand?
I lowered my eyes.
Then I'll be more careful. I won't make trouble for you.
Alessandro's jaw tightened. He was so angry that he actually got dressed. I didn't know what I'd done. I dropped to my knees. He had always been gentle with me. He had never spoken to me like this. Was he getting tired of me? A few days later, Alessandro went out drinking with some of his friends at a private club. He'd always taken me with him before, when he went out with that crowd. This time he didn't. The night turned cold after he left. I worried he'd freeze and grabbed his coat to take to him. I got to the back rooms and stopped just outside the curtain booth. I heard one of his friends tease.
Hey, Alexandra. Heard you're marrying the Santoti girl. Your little Bianca didn't cry and scream and threaten to throw herself off a roof?
She wouldn't dare.
That was Alessandro's voice. Cold. A voice I didn't recognize. I lifted a corner of the curtain quietly. Beside Alessandro was a beautiful maid curled against him. Her low-cut bodice pressed snugly against his side. The sight made my blood run cold. Another man jeered.
Well, that's new. You used to guard her like a junkyard dog.
Alessandro drank. He sounded bored.
She's just a toy. A little amusement. A man like me will have countless women in my bed. There's a whole world of them out there, like wine. You have to taste every variety before you die. Or what's the point?
Someone else, disbelieving.
And you say that to her face?
Of course not.
Alessandro turned the glass in his hand, voice silky and lazy. He put his arm around the girl's waist.
With women, you have to coax them, stroke them, watch the way they melt when you string them along. Ready to lay down their lives for you. That's the fun of it. Once the Santoro girl's locked in, I'll have her exactly the same way. Wrapped around my finger. Loyal and begging.
I was quite satisfied with my arranged marriage husband. He was always well behaved. He was a nice man. I walked into the private dining room that evening. A young lady was offering Arthur a seared scallop from her fork. I smiled. I greeted the executives at the table. I glanced at the girl. She didn't bother to give up her seat. The sales director shot her a sharp look.
This is Mrs. Vance, our CEO's wife.
Hello, Mrs. Vant. I'm Chloe, the new executive secretary. It's so nice to meet you.
I gave her a polite, faint smile. I said nothing. I took the nearest available seat. I made small talk with the table. My eyes stayed on Arthur and Chloe across from me. I watched Arthur casually chew the scallop. Then I watched Chloe pick up half a grilled lobster. She stared at it with a helpless expression, then shot Arthur a pleading look. Arthur frowned slightly. He took the lobster from her plate, peeled it with his bare hands, then placed the meat back onto her plate. I narrowed my eyes. I lowered my head and texted my housekeeper, Martha.
Mrs. Vance, I'm just so jealous of how lucky you are. To marry someone as successful as Mr. Vance, you get to just stay home and be a loving wife. It must be wonderful. Not like the rest of us who have to work so hard every day just to get by.
I looked up.
You really are new. You have absolutely no manners.
Cut the nonsense. You think Mrs. Van is just a housewife? We call her Mrs. Van here as a courtesy to her husband, but outside this room, she's Miss Sterling, CEO of the Sterling Group.
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Vance. I just speak my mind. Please don't hold it against me.
I just can't help feeling a little sorry for Mr. Vance. Watching you spend so lavishly. He sacrificed so much to build Vance Corporation into what it is now.
The Vances are a power couple from two legendary families. She's the only heir to this Sterling Group. Apologize to her. Right now.
Chloe's face went pale. She bit her lip. Her large eyes filled with tear as she looked helplessly at Arthur.
Apologize to my wife. From now on, watch your mouth and know your place. If you don't know something, ask. If you don't understand, learn.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Vance.
I have another engagement. I shall take my leave. Excuse me.
My other event ended
Cheers,
at
gorgeous.
10 p.m.
Thank you.
Arthur was already waiting for me at the parking garage. He opened the car door as usual. We chatted casually on the drive home. The atmosphere was mild. Once we got home, Arthur went to shower. When he stepped out, 10 massive boiled lobsters were laid out on the dining table. I smiled warmly at his confused expression.
Darling, peel them for me.
Arthur looked stunned.
Didn't you not eat well at dinner? You can't possibly finish all this.
He turned to call Martha to clean it up. I stopped him.
I want you to peel them for me. With your own hands.
Natalie, you know I'm a germaphobe.
I smiled gently.
Are you? Because tonight, you seemed perfectly fine getting your hands dirty peeling a lobster for your new young assistant.
So you're jealous over that? It's rare to see you jealous. I thought Mrs. Van was always above it all. She's just a new intern, fresh out of college. She has no filter because she's young. If it bothers you, I promise it won't happen again.
He denied so fast. I looked up at his handsome face. We'd been married 3 years. In his 30s, time hadn't aged him, only refined his quiet dominance. I reached up and gently touched his cheek.
Arthur, do you know why I picked you over every other eligible heir? You're quiet, decent, keep to yourself. Your parents told me you don't like unnecessary physical contact with strangers, that you hate people invading your space. Coincidentally, so am I. Our marriage is a strategic arrangement between our families. We've been fine these 3 years. I want us to keep this clean and steady for both our sakes. Don't disappoint me. Peel all these lobsters. Consider it your punishment for crossing a line with another woman. This is your first and last warning. Behave yourself.
I didn't check what time Arthur finally came to bed. I did my skincare routine and went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, the dining table was full of neatly peeled lobster. Arthur had already left for work. Martha stood quietly to the side.
Martha, you've got a big family to feed, don't you? Take all this home with you. My husband peeled it himself. It's perfectly clean. Enjoy.
After that day, Arthur and I went back to normal.
So do you.
That little unpleasantness was just a minor blip, harmless and soon forgotten. If anything, he treated me even better than before. I had no interest in babysitting him or tracking which women he spoke to. As the head of the Sterling Empire, I had a company to run. Then, 1 month later, he pulled up to take me to a Vance family dinner. The car window rolled down. Chloe sat in the passenger seat, looking faintly smug. I frowned.
Hello, Mrs. Vance. You look stunning today.
Chloe smiled brightly. Her pretty face was innocent and naive. She acted as if she couldn't sense my displeasure at all. Arthur also looked completely unfazed, as if nothing was wrong. My expression got cold.
Get out.
Chloe's smile froze.
Mrs. Vance, Mr. Vance was just dropping me off on his way. I get terribly carsick, that's why I'm in the front seat.
She shot Arthur a desperate, pleading look. Arthur looked at me helplessly. Knowing my temper, he didn't try to defend her. I repeated it, my voice colder.
Get out.
Let my wife sit.
Chloe bit her lip and climbed out reluctantly. As she reached to open the rear door, I cut her off.
Who said you could get back in?
Chloe froze. I took a slow breath.
Can't you even afford an Uber? Things must be tough. I'll cover your fare. Go home. Be safe.
Arthur watched awkwardly and tried to intervene.
Arthur, this is your fault. If your employees' gays can't even afford a cab and have to hitch a ride with the CEO, you're failing as a leader. Starting tomorrow, transport dippings for all mid-level and above staff at Vance Corp and Sterling Group go up 10%. Charge it to Sterling accounts.
Chloe's eyes reddened, tears swirling.
Mrs. Vance, I may be poor, but I won't let anyone trample on me. What gives you the right to insult my dignity with your money and status?
I laughed.
You're so broke you have to beg your married boss for a ride, yet paying for your cab insults your dignity? Does your dignity only stay intact if the CEO drives you home himself? That's some expensive dignity. In just the 2 minutes you've delayed us, Arthur and I could have made millions. If he wastes more time detouring to your place, how will you compensate us for the loss? With your dignity?
I ignored her face, got into the car, and slammed the door. Arthur silently started the car. The silence in the car was heavy. I wasn't going to be the first one to break it. Arthur cleared his throat.
Her apartment isn't far from my parents' estate. It really wasn't out of the way. There was no need to...
Arthur, I told you. I like you because you're decent. You're not the only one who values cleanliness. I require boundaries. First, you peeled a lobster for another woman. I let it slide with a warning. Today, you let her sit in my seat and adjusted it for her. I give everyone in my life exactly 3 chances. Today was your second. My demands aren't high. Keep a professional, appropriate distance from other women. It isn't that hard. My demands aren't high. Keep a professional, appropriate distance from other women. It isn't that hard. Arthur,
Don't disappoint me.
He didn't say another word. The car fell into a suffocating silence. I didn't care if he was upset. I've never tiptoed around anyone. The car pulled into the Vance estate. When we got out, I linked my arm through Arthur's like nothing was wrong.
You know our marriage isn't just about us. Smile if you don't want our stocks crashing tomorrow. We're adults. Don't act like a child. Understood?
I smiled brightly for the staff.
Natalie. Natalie, you get more beautiful every time I see you. Come, sit next to me.
Arthur sat on my other side. The Vance family was big and wealthy. The dining room was lively. Throughout dinner, old Mrs. Vance chatted affectionately with me and told the servers to give me the best dishes.
That joint venture between our companies is going wonderfully. You're truly brilliant, Natalie.
We're family, Mother. It's our shared success.
What's wrong with you? Not a word, not even tending to your wife.
Arthur's smile was tight.
You two were so caught up in conversation, I didn't want to interrupt.
I heard you hired a new executive assistant. She seems rather out of line. I already called HR and had her fired. Just a junior intern with no skill or sense. I gave her 3 months separation and told her to find another job.
Arthur slammed his fork down.
Mother, I'm the CEO now. If you fire my staff, you go through me. Okay?
Old Mrs. Vance calmly placed a shrimp on my plate.
The Vance Sterling alliance is everything. You inherited the company over your brothers because you were rational and saw the bigger picture. Don't throw away your greatest advantage.
As soon as we got back to our place, Arthur leaned against the doorway and watched me kick off my heels.
Natalie, we need to talk.
Before Father left to join the army, he made a promise.
If I die on the battlefield, you can find another man to marry, like the hunter on the edge of the village.
But that huntsman, Vance, had a crippled leg and a scar that split his face in two. One punch, they said, could drop a full-grown tiger. They also said he'd already beaten his first wife to death. Marrying Mama to him was the same as sending her to die. 3 years later, word came that Father was dead. Grandma and the village elders collected 20 silver coins from Vance. They sold Mama off. The news arrived on the day Mama was washing clothes by the river. Deep winter, the water was thick with floating ice, cold enough to cut bone. Grandma wouldn't allow her to use hot water. She said firewood was precious, not for a worthless brat who couldn't produce sons. I'd haul extra firewood down from the mountain, but it always went straight to Uncle Dale's fire pit. If Mama or I used so much as one extra stick, Grandma beat us and cursed us for 3 days straight. I tried to help with the washing. Mama waved me off.
The river's cold, little one. Go play over there where the sun hits. It's warmer.
In the dead of winter, midday sun was the only warmth we ever had. When the laundry was done and we walked home, Grandma and the village elders were already waiting. They'd been in such a rush, but not enough to walk down to the river and find us.
You take this long, wandering off who knows where, worthless brat. Roy's barely gone and already your heart's drifting. The soldiers sent word. Roy's dead. You killed him. Every bit of bad luck he had started when he married you. He's gone now, so hurry up and remarry. Don't stay here dragging our family down.
The bundle was small. 2 of Mama's worn-out dresses. Grandma didn't look like she was grieving her own son. She looked the same as always, like someone had told her the village dog had died. Mama said nothing. She just held my hand tighter.
Grandma, can I bring my daughter with me?
Mama wasn't crying much. She was only worried about me.
See if the huntsman's willing to pay for her. A girl this size. Sell her to a broker and you'd get 10 silver easy.
Mama's grip went tighter around my hand. We both knew. The moment she left, Grandma would fell me. She wouldn't keep me a single day longer than she had to. Mama shouldered her bundle and held my hand. Grandma and the village elders herded us to Vance's house. He was inside, sharpening a blade. The scraping sound never stopped. His bad leg jutted stiffly to one side. It couldn't bend. A scar ran from below his left eye all the way to the right corner of his mouth, like something had tried to split his face in half. I stepped behind Mama. Vance looked us over.
You people forced this woman on me. 20 silver is already too much. Don't push it further.
He clearly hadn't wanted to take Mama, let alone me. Dead weight she'd dragged along.
My Roy saved your life once. Now he's dead, and we're delivering this woman straight to your door. You should be on your knees thanking us. She wants to bring the girl along as your daughter. You get a wife and a child all at once. I'm not asking for much. Another 10 silver and we're done.
Most families earned 2 or 3 silver in a year. 10 silver could buy a full acre of good farmland. I was not worth that much. People in the village said he was a silent man, but when he opened his eyes and looked at you, really looked, it could stop your heart cold. Grandma shoved Mama hard. Mama's thin frame nearly went down.
Mr. Hart, my daughter eats very little. She can work. Please, could you give us somewhere to go?
Vance finally looked at me, a long, unreadable frown. Mama tugged at my hand. I dropped to my knees beside her with a thump.
Call him something.
I stared up at Vance, at the scar. My lips shook.
Papa.
Vance went still. The scar looked even more ferocious when his face froze like that. Grandma's foot connected with my back.
Your real father's barely cold and you're already calling some stranger Papa. Worthless brat. Just like your harlot mother, Hart already belongs to someone else.
She kept kicking. I lay flat and didn't move. Didn't make a sound. That was how it worked. Stay still, let her finish, and she'd stop. Mama tried to crawl to me. One of the village elders kicked her back. It was always like this in Roy's household. Mama couldn't save me. She couldn't save herself.
Enough!
Vance stood. He went inside. He came back and threw 10 silver coins onto the ground.
This girl is my child now.
I looked up at Vance. Mama hadn't caught what he said. I had. Grandma grabbed the silver and turned to leave. Vance blocked her. He demanded a written contract. Grandma refused. Vance snatched the silver right back.
No contract, no silver.
In the end, with the village elders and the village head as witnesses, the contract was signed. Both Mama and I became part of Vance's household. Mama put down her bundle and started working immediately. If she stayed busy enough, maybe Vance would let me eat more. Maybe he wouldn't hit me. Vance's house was plain. 3 main rooms, a hall in the center, a bedroom on each side. Only one bedroom had a bed. The other was empty. Mama led me to the woodshed. The firewood was stacked clean. The floor was tidy. Mama shifted some wood and found a board. She built me a rough bed out of it.
Don't be afraid, little one.
Mama, I'm not afraid.
At Roy's house, it had always been the same. When Father was home, he'd say I was in the way, always getting between him and Mama when they were trying for a son. He'd chase me to the woodshed. Roy's woodshed was filthier than this. Rats, snakes, frozen solid in winter, a furnace in summer. I'd survived all of it. Mama held me against her chest.
Maybe, once I give him a son, things will ease up.
I said nothing. I'd long suspected Father's cruelty toward Mama had nothing to do with sons.
Mama, why did Father want you to remarry Vance?
Before he left, Father had kept Mama on a tight leash. Wouldn't let her leave the village. Wouldn't let her look up when she passed a man. Grandma would curse her for it too. Said she was out there tempting people. Mama's bitter laugh stayed locked in her throat.
Because Vance was the only one who could pay that much.
She didn't finish. She didn't need to. Father had sent Mama here to die. Father had been planning to sell Mama even before he left. He knew he wasn't coming back. He made sure Mama would have nowhere left to go. I'd worked this out some time ago. Not because I was clever. They'd been obvious about it. The whole village talked. Not long after we arrived, Vance came back carrying armfuls of thick wooden boards. He disappeared into the empty west bedroom. Steady hammering rang out, one blow after another. Mama stood outside the door. She wanted to ask where the food stores were so she could start dinner, but she didn't dare. After a while, Vance came back out. He saw us both still standing there. He frowned.
Something you need?
His voice was rough. I flinched and nearly stepped back. But we were alone here, Mama and me. If I stepped back, she'd be standing by herself. I held my ground. I took Mama's hand and stood beside her. Vance noticed. Something shifted in his brow. Mama asked carefully,
I want to ask. It's nearly dinner time. If you get the grain out, I can cook. You've worked hard all day, you should eat.
Vance frowned harder. He looked us up and down like we'd said something strange. Then he pointed at the kitchen.
In there.
The key.
Vance's frown deepened. He walked over and kicked the kitchen door open. He looked back at us. I had the feeling he was asking with his eyes whether we were simple. No lock, no key. Roy's kitchen was always locked. The grain, the oil, the salt, the eggs, everything in locked cabinets. Grandma would measure out exactly what was needed for each meal, set it on the counter, then stand there watching Mama cook. Drop a single grain of rice, get a lecture that lasted half a day. She called us starving ghosts, said we never worked, only ate. She was afraid we'd steal food. Mama and I stepped into the kitchen, grain, oil, salt, all of it just sitting out in the open. Mama stood there for a long moment. She glanced toward Vance. He'd already gone back out. She was almost afraid to touch anything. She was afraid she'd cook it wrong, and he'd come back angry. Beat her, like Grandma. She was afraid of being accused of stealing. Eventually, Mama cooked. The food sat on the table. The two of us stood in the courtyard. Neither of us moved toward it. Vance came back carrying 2 large wicker baskets. He saw the food on the table. He saw us standing there. His frown deepened. He washed his hands, sat down, saw us still standing. He told us gruffly to sit. He scooped himself less than half a bowl of rice.
Not enough food. Cook more tomorrow.
He ate fast, loud and efficient, finished in minutes, but barely ate half of what was there. Done, he sat sharpening his wood-cutting knife, watching us eat. Mama hesitantly filled my bowl. We ate, both keeping our eyes on him. I noticed it quickly. When I ate fast, he looked away. When I slowed down and tried to set my chopsticks down, he frowned. He was telling me to keep eating. Mama and I finished every last bite. Then we sat waiting to be scolded or hit. Vance put the knife down.
Wash up and get some sleep. You've worked enough today.
Mama hurried to heat the water. She waited for Vance to finish washing, then, after a moment, washed her own face and hands and feet.
It's the first day. If I'm clean, he'll find less to resent.
She muttered it while she scrubbed, eyes dim. I used her leftover warm water. The heat spread up through my hands and feet all at once. So this was what it felt like to wash with hot water. No wonder Grandma and Uncle Dale always demanded extra buckets in winter. I went to the woodshed for the night. Mama stopped me at the door.
Cover your ears. No matter what you hear tonight, don't come out. Pretend you heard nothing, you understand?
I nodded hard. I knew. Once, when Father was hurting Mama, I'd run in crying and begged him to stop. He'd kicked me so hard I ached for half a year. This time I wouldn't make a sound. We both had to survive, stay alive, and there was still hope, even if I didn't yet know what that hope looked like. Then the woodshed door was kicked open. Vance stood in the doorway holding a lantern, staring at me where I lay in the straw. I shrank back. Cold sweat poured down my neck. Once, Father had come home half drunk in the middle of the night and walked into the woodshed. He beat me nearly to death. He said I was a burden. My fault he had no son. My fault he lost money gambling. That night, Mama grabbed the woodcutting knife and told him she'd take his life. That was the only thing that saved me. Vance was stronger. Could he put me down in 3 kicks? But he wasn't drunk. He wasn't angry. He reached down and grabbed me under the arms like he was picking up a stray chick. He carried me into the west bedroom. Mama was already standing there quietly. The empty room wasn't empty anymore. A wide wooden bed stood against the wall. Worn, but tidy. Vance set me down. He turned and walked back to his own east bedroom. The door closed. Within minutes, his snoring came through the wall. Mama and I stared at each other. That night we slept restlessly, but we slept warm. I burrowed into the quilt and said quietly,
Mama, it's so warm.
I had never been this warm in winter, not once, and I'd eaten dinner. My stomach was full. This, I thought, was what being alive was actually supposed to feel like. Mama stroked my hair.
Little one, you called him Papa today. Do it again tomorrow. Keep calling him that.
Okay.
Vance was already a better father than Roy had ever been. The meals got bigger after that, and slowly, Mama didn't dare increase the amount all at once. She added a little each day until she finally understood his appetite. He ate a great deal, roughly as much as Mama and I put together, but he never once stopped us from eating. If we ate too little, he'd frown. He hunted. Large catches he sold. Sometimes he'd bring back a rabbit or a wild chicken, and he'd have Mama stew it. He ate half. The rest went to us. I had eaten meat 3 times in my life before that. This was the 4th. It was so good. No wonder Grandma and Uncle Dale had always been so desperate for it. Mama saved the extra pieces for me. I ate without thinking, too happy to pace myself. That night, I woke in the dark with my stomach seizing up in cramps. I rolled across the bed in pain. Mama rubbed my belly. It didn't help. She ran outside and scraped ash from the bottom of the cooking pot, stirred it into water, and brought it to me. I took one sip and vomited everything up. Vance burst through the door. One look at me. He wrapped me in the quilt, hoisted me onto his shoulder, and ran. Mama stumbled after him. She didn't say a word. He ran all the way to the village doctor's house at the edge of the road and kicked the door in. The whole household lurched awake. They started to complain. Then they saw his face and went quiet. The doctor checked my pulse, then asked what I'd been eating.
What did she eat? Overaid. Indigestion. Nell's been underfed all her life. Eat this much meat at once and her stomach can't manage it. She'll be fine. I'll give her something to bring it up. Keep her warm, light food for a few days. She'll recover.
She gave me something. I vomited, loudly and at length. The smell filled the whole room. The doctor's husband muttered from the corner.
Never had good food her whole life. Body can't handle it when she finally does.
Vance looked at him. One hard stare. He retreated to the back room. I was humiliated, getting sick from eating too much meat. Just like Grandma had always said, I was a bottomless pit with no sense. Vance carried me home over his shoulder. On the way back, he said gruffly,
You've really never had meat before?
I thought he was scolding me.
This was only the 4th time. Before, we only ever got a piece or two.
Grandma had never let us have even the broth. He made a low sound.
Eat more often enough, and this stops happening.
I was wrapped too tight in the quilt and didn't quite catch it. The next few days, I could only drink porridge. Vance brought back millet. He brought back brown sugar. Millet and brown sugar were things only new mothers got after childbirth. A bowl or two, a little sweetness stirred in. I was getting a full bowl at every single meal. I was eating better than Mama had after giving birth to me. Vance watched me eat every morning until the color came back to my face. When it did, something in his own expression finally loosened. He fixed the village doctor's front gate as payment for the house call. Then he pulled the doctor back to check my pulse again. Only when she said I was fully recovered did he walk her out. He said he was going up the mountain to track a big animal, might be gone several days. He told Mama to bake a stack of flatbreads for the road. Mama kneaded the dough with lard and mixed in brown sugar. The flatbreads came out golden and fragrant. She pressed into his hands the thick insoles and padded cap she'd sewn over the past few days. Vance took the flatbreads. He looked at the insoles and the cap. He looked up at Mama. Something in his eyes went soft.
New Year's coming. When I sell what I catch, we'll go buy supplies. Think about what you want.
Mama held my hand as we stood at the door to see him off. His figure moved away from us, uneven but steady. I couldn't help shouting after him.
Papa, come home soon!
Vance stopped. He didn't look back. He lifted a hand in our direction.
Go inside. It's cold.
The S-rank white leopard companion I had didn't like me. He only wagged his tail for my adopted sister. So the night I bought home a Black Panther war slave instead. I was drunk, sitting outside the bar and smoking to sober up. A street vendor crept over, timidly, lowering his voice.
Miss, you look totally stressed out. Need to let it all out?
I've got a stress relief war beast. Panther type. Good for unwinding.
What? The dealer glanced around nervously, then waved toward the shadows. A Black Panther beastman stepped into the light. Tall, broad-shouldered, lean at the waist. He stepped forward and his shadow fell across my face. The vendor yanked the rough suppression collar and dragged him to one knee. He unclipped a rusted inhibitor muzzle, then grabbed the panther's hair and pulled his head back, exposing his face, bronze skin, smooth beneath the bruises. A sharp, straight nose, thin lips pressed tight. Black beast marks curled along his throat, half hidden beneath the collar. The vendor slapped his face hard.
Look at that face, miss. Wouldn't it feel good to smack something that pretty?
I swallowed. He was exactly my type, and my doctor had said my stress hormones were out of control. I genuinely needed an outlet, but I already had a white leopard at home. Ash would mind. The vendor kicked the panther.
Get up. Show her your build.
The panther stood slowly, chains coiled around him. He could only use one hand to peel off his shirt. Clean, solid muscle. I saw the bruises layered over bruises.
High stamina, heals fast, 2,000 for 2 hours of release. You can do whatever you want, just don't slit his throat and drain his blood, and he'll recover.
I stared at him. People's tastes had gotten that dark. Slit his throat? Forget it. My white leopard at home wouldn't let me touch him anyway, but this one was cheap. Obedient sounded fine. I stood up, a little unsteady from the alcohol.
How much to buy him outright?
Not cheap. He's our best. He attended many big wars.
Name your price.
I'll give you a discount. Just $58,800.
I paused. My parents spent millions on Ash, my premium S-class white leopard gift. This one was practically free by comparison. Seeing I didn't bid, the vendor stepped forward.
Too much?
Fine. Round it down. 50 grand.
I bought him for $5,000 in the end. I wasn't ready to go home yet, so I took him to a hotel. The vendor gave me a long list of warnings on the way out.
Don't remove the inhibitor muzzle until he's fully tamed. Keep the chains on. Both of them.
Eli stood still in the entryway, eyes down, waiting for whatever came next. Go shower. I came out of the shower wrapped in a robe, still not daring to take off his restraints yet. He looked at me for a few seconds, then turned and walked into the bathroom. Water started running. After a few minutes, I knocked.
I left my phone in there.
He hadn't locked the door, so I pushed it open. Eli froze his back to me. His tall, imposing figure was completely bare. Water streamed down his shoulders along the rusted chains, washing away rust and dried blood. His tail hung low, trembling slightly. My brain went offline. I crossed the room and hugged him from behind, pressed my lips to the bruising on his spine.
What are you doing?
Take it easy. His hands clenched at his sides.
It's not.
What is that?
That's not how stress relief works. I've never done this before. Bear with me.
I pushed him onto the bed. I kissed every bruise. One by one, he lay still and let me, his body tense the whole time.
Are you sure? I'm just a low-class panther.
Stay in this hazy room between us. Breath on my neck, you're leaning closer.
My answer was to stop waiting. He let out a muffled sound and closed his eyes, long lashes trembling. Ash was my parents' apology, premium, S-class companion white leopard, a compensation for the 18 years they lost me. I was 5 when I disappeared, 23 when they finally found me. When I came home, I found out my parents had already adopted a little girl, Emma. She'd been with them since she was a baby. She was 17 now. When I appeared, Emma fell apart. She screamed and sobbed.
Get out! I'm their real daughter! Why are you here taking my parents? This is my home! Get out!
Don't cry. You'll always be our daughter. Zoe coming back doesn't change how much we love you.
Emma's been spoiled. You're 6 years older. Just try to be patient with her.
I should have been devastated, but I was 23. I survived those lonely years craving my parents. I worked every job I could find. Dishwasher, night shift cashier, warehouse packer. I learned to smile at customers who touched my waist, learned to sleep with my bag after a landlord threw me out, because I was 2 days late on rent. Now I had stopped craving love first. I needed money. Money meant a locked door, a warm room, a place no one could kick me out of. I knew this time I should learn how to survive here. I let my eyes well up, looked down. I understand, Dad. Playing vulnerable work. The monthly allowance, they wired me, kept going up. Morning. I had my cheek pressed against Ellie's arm. My best friend Lily texted me. Where are you? Did you do your usual disappearing act and go home alone again? No, I bought a new stress relief war beast last night. Being busy. Zoe, what is wrong with you? I know you are upset that your white leopard at home ignores you, but you can't just go buy a punching bag.
You couldn't bring yourself to hit the expensive one, so you went out and bought a cheap one to beat up? I would report you if you weren't my best friend.
I am appalled.
I stared at my screen. I didn't hit him. Why would I hit a beast man? Lily went quiet for a moment. And how did you unwind the way you are thinking on bed? We both stopped typing. Then she sent me a long message explaining everything. Stress relief war beasts were illegal. Traffickers stole young beastmen or bought low-class ones cheap. Then they tortured and filtered them, keeping only those with strong bodies and fast healing. Some became living buffers for paying clients to pay. Others ended up in underground war beast arenas, death matches. Even after rescue, these war beasts were considered feral and untamed. Official shelters offered them for free adoption, the ones no one took. Euthanized.
I know where he lives, if you regret it.
I startled, quickly darkened my screen and turned over.
He runs with a crew. They probably won't give you the money back. But if I catch him alone, I might be able to.
I don't regret it. As long as you behave. Only listen to me. Nobody else.
Okay.
There were a few faint scars along the fur of his ears. I couldn't help it. I reached out to touch them. His ears snapped back instantly. He flinched away. This one wouldn't let me touch his ears either.
Sorry. Force of habit. You can touch them now. If you still want to.
I didn't hesitate. I swung up and sat across his waist, braced my hands on his chest, and squeezed his ears between my fingers. Ellie's breathing deepened. He tipped his head back, eyes half-lidded, watching me.
Can we do it again?
We didn't go straight home. I took Eli to a war beast clinic first. The doctor said his healing ability was excellent. The bruising wasn't a concern, but severe malnutrition. He needed long-term supplementation. The total for all the supplements cost more than I'd paid for him.
I don't need it. I can eat anything. Don't spend the money. I won't die.
This amount was what Ash burned through on snacks every month. It's fine. Do you like these? Slim metal collar, custom black inhibitor muzzle to match. I hadn't wanted him to keep wearing restraints, but the doctor was firm.
Don't let a feral panther's looks fool you. He could take out your throat in one bite.
So I'd picked the most comfortable version I could find. When the doctor removed the old inhibitor muzzle, he held it up to the light.
War beast arena or stress relief?
Before this, I mean. Both.
Figured.
The doctor turned it over.
Look at these bite marks. He did this to himself when the pain got too bad. Those are from last night.
I went very still.
In the arena? No.
He looked at my back.
From when I was being used.
We got home past midnight. Mom and Dad were already asleep. Ash was probably in Emma's room, as usual.
Come in.
I kicked off my heels and turned to look at Eli. He hadn't moved. He was staring at something on the floor. I bent down and picked it up. This is Ash's. On my first birthday in this house, Mom and Dad had given me Ash.
Zoe's too quiet.
We thought having a companion might open her up.
Back then, Ash hadn't shifted yet. Just a small white leopard cub.
Why does she get one and I don't? You said you wouldn't pick favorites. He's mine!
She snatched the cub and ran out. Didn't come back. My birthday dinner was ruined. My birthday present was gone. Mom and Dad were a mess for days. I cried too.
I'm so sorry I made her leave. It's my fault.
One girl and one scruffy leopard cub appeared at the front door.
Mom, Dad, I'm so hungry. I was wrong. I'm never running again.
Mom and Dad rushed out, and all three of them sobbed together on the doorstep. When they finally looked up, Mom's face went guilty the instant she saw me standing there.
Mom, you hit me? Do you know what the last 12 days were like? I just got back and you're hitting me?
If you ever make Zoe feel unwelcome in this house again, don't call me Mom.
After that, Emma stopped coming after me openly. She gave Ash back a few weeks later. Not long after that, he shifted. He tilted his head at me and said his first shifted word.
Emma?
I'm Emma. You remember me. You remember me.
Of course.
He caught her easily. A low purr rolled from his chest.
I remember everything about Emma.
Mom and Dad sighed and put an arm around me. It took weeks of trying before Ash reluctantly accepted that I was his owner. But he refused to purr for me, refused to let me touch his ears. Never waited by the door for me. He only reacted to Emma's footsteps. He only waited for her. I watched them every time. I told myself I didn't really care, because Ash's monthly expenses came out of the account in my name, and Mom and Dad's quiet guilt kept filling that same account. But lately, I'd been breaking out. Stress hormones, the doctor said. Ash wouldn't touch me. Well, I had shown up at exactly the right moment. I had no reason to say no. Sleep with me tonight? I'll take you shopping for clothes tomorrow.
Will he mind?
Eli asked. Who? He glanced over at me.
Ash.
Panthers are territorial.
He doesn't like sleeping with me. It's fine. Ellie thought of something. His grip on my hand got a little tighter.
Do you need it again tonight?
Need what? His ears went pink.
Stress relief.
I do, but my legs are killing me.
I have good stamina. You can just lie there.
That's very considerate of you.
It's nothing. Zoe.
In the morning, I stepped out of my room at the exact same time as Ash.
Why were you talking in your sleep last night? All those little sounds. It was loud.
I wasn't annoyed. Sorry. I'll keep it down. His tone softened a little. Awkward.
Were you having a nightmare? I thought I heard you crying.
I was having the time of my life.
If you ever have a nightmare, you can...
Ash! I can't find my slippers.
Don't walk around barefoot.
He stepped right past me and went into Emma's room. Came back out carrying her.
How did your slippers end up in the living room if you were in your room?
Because you carried me to bed last night and forgot to bring them.
He sat her on his knee, found the bunny slippers, and put them on her feet. Perfect companion beast. Just not mine.
Zoe, my laundry's in the hamper. Take it to the dry cleaner.
He stepped close, pressed his nose to my neck.
What's that smell?
What? Then inhaled. The deeper he breathed, the harder his hand gripped my waist.
Zoe, why do you carry another beast's imprint?
I said nothing. I looked past his shoulder. Eli had just opened the door and walked out. He was half a head taller than Ash. His shoulders almost filled the doorframe. His eyes landed on Ash.
That's my imprint.
Eli said.
Julian gave me this card.
Frozen?
He insisted I use his card for my birthday. I was so touched. But now he was gone. He'd ignored of my calls.
Mrs. Pierce, do you have another card? You know, we don't run tags here. You remember what happened last month, don't you?
Last month, Julian's secretary had run up a huge bill on his card. I'd frozen hers. A terrible realization hit me. Was this Julian's revenge for her? Leather shoes clicked at the entrance. Julian's arm wrapped tightly around Amelia. A crowd of socialites followed behind. She was smirking at me.
You love watching people unable to pay, don't you? Well, now you get to experience it yourself. How are you going to pay when you can't?
I heard she grew up poor and only caught Mr. Pierce's eye by luck. Now her husband brings his new girl to watch her get humiliated.
This is what you get when you sleep your way to the top just for being pretty.
How long does a woman's youth really last? Once a billionaire finds a younger toy, her luxury days end.
Just as I thought, it was a trap. To avenge his little secretary.
Don't worry, Amelia. However Serena humiliated you, I'll make her pay 10 times over.
Thank you, Julian.
She grabbed an expensive red wine bottle and smashed it at my feet.
You useless bitch! Julian's paying for me now. I can smash all I want. But you? You're done.
Don't glare like you want to kill me. If you have money, just pay and leave. Anyone who helps Serena pays the price. They go against me, against the Pierce family.
Mr. Pierce means business. He loves his secretary more than his wife.
I thought it was just an he means it. With his threat, who dare help her?
I snapped.
Julian Pierce! Are you really humiliating me over this cheap trat?
Julian scoffed. He slapped me hard across the face.
That's right.
I stared at him, utterly stunned. He pulled out a handkerchief, wiped the hand he'd just used to slap me. 3 years of marriage. We were called the perfect couple. Once, he'd chased me endlessly. At our wedding, he swore loyalty, promised never to betray me. Look at us now. 3 years, all vows, all memories, torn to shreds by his cold cruelty. Just like they said, you're nothing but a pretty face married to money, no dignity at all.
You knew how much I dole on my secretary. But you still pushed your luck. You clearly don't know your place. Serena, if you can't pay this bill today, I'll have the manager strip you naked and throw you out.
Mr. Pierce is ruthless, stripping his own wife just for his new girl.
She won't be his wife much longer.
After tonight, she's nobody.
Let's shut up and watch the show.
My face burned. I had no money, only the haute couture dress I was wearing. Even worse, my phone was dead. Then I realized Julian planned every detail of this trap.
It's getting late, Serena. The restaurant wants payment so they can close. Don't tell me you have no money. Oh, what are you going to do? If you can't pay, they'll hold you. Just like you did to me.
Amelia pulled out a slim cigarette and lit it. She blew smoke right into my face. Looking at her arrogant expression, I raised my hand to slap her.
Serena, stop it right now!
Julian quickly ordered his bodyguards and shoved me hard to the ground. I glared at him, eyes red with rage.
What? So you can hurt others?
But they can't fight back?
The Pierce Group's rise. 3 years, almost vertical. Everyone called it Julian's genius. No one knew about the calls I'd made, the doors I'd opened. Even the city's underworld had given the Pierces a wide berth. I am the sole heir to the Sinclair family, the most powerful of the East Coast 4 legacy families. I gave you your chance, Julian. Now, time to collect some interest. I never expected a man's heart could change so fast.
Julian, are you really going to make me leave this restaurant in shame?
Of course. Do you think I did all this for nothing?
Amelia stepped forward, punched me hard in the face.
You have no right to freeze my card. Either you get locked up for the bill, or you lose everything you have. One way you keep your dignity, the other way, you don't. Hurry up and choose. I can't wait.
I clenched my fists and looked at Julian. All love in my eyes turned to cold ice.
Fine. If this is what you want, the Pierce family's bankruptcy is all on you.
Has she lost her mind?
Does she think she's some hidden billionaire?
She's gone crazy.
Julian glared at me in disgust. He picked up a plate and threw it at me.
Stop talking nonsense. Bankrupt my family? Are you even worthy? You should worry about surviving tonight. Manager!